Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone, but you're not alone. At IAVA.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. IAVA.org. We've got your back.
Welcome to this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller, my special guest today from the Lancaster Police Department, Officer Chris Caton. Welcome.
Thanks for having me here.
You are the Community Services Unit involved in that. We'll talk a little bit about all the different things that you do throughout the year for Safety Town and DARE and a couple other things. But let's talk a little bit about Chris Caton. What got you into being a police officer?
Well, believe it or not, a popular TV show way back in the day you're probably familiar with, Chips.
I mean, I'm old. No, that's okay. That's all right. It's okay. Yeah, I am familiar. Yeah.
That was probably my favorite TV show back when I was a youngster, and it kind of sparked the interest, and it grew from there.
Yeah. Now, you're from the New Lex area?
I'm from actually, I went to high school in New Lex, but actually from the Junction City area.
Okay. All right. And you've been with the police department 15 years. You have an anniversary coming up.
I think it'll be 16 years in October.
Okay. Yeah. Enjoy it? I mean, obviously.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Anything else that you would have done? I mean, if you weren't doing a police, how would you be?
Well, you know what? It's been a long time since I thought about that. But I initially wanted to be a veterinarian, but here I am.
Yeah, well, we're glad you're here. There's a lot of, I know you guys are busy all the time. I know just from my time on city council, all the activities that go on with being involved in the community and do that. Now, you also have another DARE officer that you work with.
Yes, Officer Jim Marshall.
Yeah,
He's my partner.
Yeah, so yeah, there's two of you that cover all this. At time, we'll talk a little bit about some of the programs, but in today's society, when we talk about being involved in the community, what's that mean to you? What's that?
First and foremost, being out and being in contact with the community, talk to them, and actually educating as much as we can about whatever the topics they need to be educated right now. And what I'm highly involved in is prevention, drug prevention,
right.
Things like that. That's a big thing with our unit. But just being involved in other organizations and taking part and helping them out.
One of the things you just mentioned was about drug prevention. Just you've been there 16 years. What have you seen changes just in the mindset of especially teenagers?
Well, it's definitely, I would say it's, as far as the mindset goes, it's more of a electronic age and things like that. So, which brings along its own set of problems, especially with one of the things that we deal with bullying and things like that.
Right.
It's no longer face-to-face. Well, sometimes it is, but it's not always face-to-face like you and I were used to.
Right.
But now it's done over, cyberbullying, and it's done over the internet, done via text, and that's definitely been a big change since I've started.
One of the programs we'll talk about first is Safety Town. It's coming up June 16th. Talk a little bit about how long I know it's been around a while, but talk a little about just the content of them and what Safety Town's all about.
If my memory serves me, it started back at the Lancaster Police Department around 1986, and it's a 2-week safety program that the Lancaster Police Department puts together. I'm the director of it, and it's designed for children who are getting ready to enter kindergarten this coming school year.
Right.
And it's broken up into a 9 to noon segment and also a 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. segment. So we have a morning session and an afternoon session, and every day has a safety of the day. And we have a lot of partners that come in and help us with this because certain areas we're not experts in, so we go and talk to and invite experts in that particular field to help us out with the particular safety of the day. And I gotta give a thank you to Lancaster City Schools. Huge. They give us the venue for Safety Town, which is Medill Elementary School, and also they give us the venue for the graduation at the Lancaster High School auditorium.
I think when I was Terry Newman was the officer at the time.
Yes.
That dates me. But we had it back here at Tarry.
Yeah, I believe that's where it began, yes.
Talk about some of the partners that are involved with Safety Town.
Like I mentioned, Lancaster City Schools, and that Lancaster City Schools also helps us because we have a school bus safety day, and the bus barn sends some instructors out to do the school bus safety portion. We have the Lancaster Fire Department who helps us with fire safety, stop, drop, and roll, and things of that such. We have South Central Power Company, who Marv Whelan comes out and helps us with the electric safety. We have Fairfield County Child Protective Services, helps us with personal safety. We have Lancaster Animal Clinic, Dr. Bonham, and helps us with animal safety. American Red Cross with water safety. We also have a magician who comes in and does our stranger danger presentation, and he's far more entertaining than I am. So he does a really good job. And then we have the big part of Safety Town is the part that's kind of where it gets its name is the pedestrian safety. That's the little village outside with the little buildings and the streets painted on the ground where the children they walk around and learn pedestrian safety, but they also get to ride on the little tricycles around and represent the cars.
Those, yeah. Now, how do people come involved? They register? Is there a deadline? Is there what cost?
It costs $20, and that's just kind of to offset some of the materials cost. But the deadline is Friday, June the 6th, is the deadline for registration. We delivered registration forms and flyers to all the county schools that don't have their own similar.
It's always a question people have. Do I have to attend Lancaster City Schools to be involved in this?
No, you do not. Though I would say 75 to 80% of the students who go through Lancaster Safety Town are Lancaster City Schools. But the registration form should be available in all the kindergarten packets this year.
Okay. Can they come down to the police station and pick a packet up?
You can come to the police department, pick a packet up, and probably the easiest place to get one if there's not one in the kindergarten packet is go to the Lancaster Police Department's website and go to the forms section, and you can download a form from there as well. But I do want to make one note, though, because on the forms, I'm the contact person, and has my extension number is extension number 39, and we just literally yesterday updated our entire phone system, and I haven't been getting any phone calls, and that's unusual. Just let everybody know that my new extension is 518.
Okay, there we go. We'll make sure we get that. How many kids sign up normally? I'm just rough ballpark figure.
I've seen since I've been the director of Safety Town, as few as 150, and on the higher side, 200.
That's still a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids. You ever have kids call in, later on and say, "Hey, I really enjoyed that," or if you need some help, let me know, or alumni, I guess.
We actually have, believe it or not, we have a gentleman. I say gentleman now because he's in his mid-20s, who works at Safety Town. And he's been there since he was a student at Safety Town as a kindergartner.
Wow.
Way back when.
Who's that? Who is it?
Brian Malone.
Brian Malone.
Yes.
Well, thanks, Brian. We appreciate it. That's fantastic. Is there a limit? Is there a cutoff time, I guess, if they're not in by June 6th, or we only take so many kids? Or?
We can only take, capacity would be 200 kids for morning and 200 for the afternoon. We've never been quite that high, at least not in recent future.
Right.
I don't know what we'd do if we had that many, to be honest with you. That's a lot of kids.
Call in some teachers to help out,
yes.
I guess.
And we have 5 classes. It's set up just like a elementary school. We have 5 classrooms with 5 actual certified teachers, and each classroom's got a teacher's aide, and I'm basically play the part of a principal for 2 weeks.
So you like that, right? Because your wife's a teacher
yes.
out in the Fairfield Union School District.
Yes, she is.
So you like that then, right?
Oh,
yeah. We're talking with Officer Chris Caton, who's involved in the DARE program, Safety Town, part of the Community Services Unit here in Lancaster Police Department. When Safety Town is over, graduation ceremonies, or is there is it certificates? How does that work?
We have a big graduation ceremony where they can invite their family, grandparents, parents, brothers, sisters. We have it at the Lancaster High School auditorium, and it's it's a big to do. They get to wear a graduation cap. They get to parade in their Safety Town
That's
T-shirts.
neat.
It's a neat sight.
That is fantastic. One more time, the phone number that they should call if they can't find the registration form.
Yes, 687-6680, and my direct extension, which is my brand new extension, as of yesterday, is 518.
Okay, we'll try to get JT to get it up on the screen for us so they can get that. If by some chance somebody misses the deadline and they show up, what?
We try to work with it, and if we have room, or
Okay.
The AM or the PM, one of them may fill up.
Right.
They may not get their choice, but we try to do what we can because I feel it's super important.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Safety Town again coming up June 16th, and it runs to the 27th.
Yes.
And if you want to, you need to get that in by June 6th, 687-6680, extension 518. Talk a little bit about DARE, the DARE program that you're involved with.
Well, the DARE program, the current curriculum that we teach now is relatively new. This will be the second year that we at the Lancaster Police Department have been teaching it. It's called the Keeping It Real curriculum. And it's a bit different than the old curriculum. The old curriculum, there was nothing wrong with it. It's a wonderful curriculum. But as children change, we got to change with them to keep it relevant. So the new Keeping It Real curriculum was developed actually by a group of folks at Penn State University, and with some help from Iowa State, and I can't remember the other college, but it's a 12-week program that involves a lot of things. It's not all about drugs. Popular misconception, people think it's just all about drugs, but it's mainly focused on healthy decision making and things of that nature. But there is a strong emphasis on drug
And what's the
prevention.
age group you're looking at? What's the?
Well, in all 8 of the city elementary schools, we teach 5th grade, as well as 5th grade at Fairfield Christian Academy. Then at St. Mary, we teach 6th grade.
Okay. And again, what is it, the sign-up date, or what's the dates we're looking at, or what's the?
Oh, it's just during the school year.
Oh, okay.
And
Right.
the schools graciously allow us to come in, have 45 minutes to an hour a week in the classroom. And like I said, it's 12 weeks, which ends in a graduation ceremony at each school, where they get a DARE T-shirt and their certificates, and they also have an essay competition. And some of the highlights of the new curriculum. We have the drug info, which mainly we hit on tobacco and alcohol. That's the big ones we hit on. But then it goes on to risk and consequences, peer pressure, stress, confident communication, nonverbal communication, effective listening, bullying, helping others, and how to get help when you need help.
All the things that are happening in the city schools today. I mean, obviously, school's changed a lot since I was, in school, and obviously, but has that become something that the police department's focusing on? I mean, even outside of the DARE program, just what's happening in the junior highs and the high schools? I know this program is for younger kids, but
We as a police department as a whole, I mean, we spend a lot more time at the schools. And not, myself and Officer Marshall do education type things in the schools, but we're in the schools quite a bit now. With all the heightened security and risk and awareness, we have officers in the schools quite often. Every day, somebody's going to the schools, including myself and Officer Marshall, but also the patrol officers as well.
When you're teaching the DARE classes to the young kids, they're in 5th grade. What kind of questions do you get? What do you?
If you can dream it, you get the questions. But they're usually things they've seen,
Sure.
or heard on TV, things of that nature that they're always curious about if it's really true. And a big part of, like I said, this curriculum is called Keeping It Real.
Right.
So
You've actually got a
it's-
book. Is it?
Oh, yeah.
You have a book. Maybe we can get a shot of it.
That's actually the
One
new
of the
DARE
cameras.
book.
I'll look at this one over here. I don't know which one we got going. This one over here. That's the new book that we got out. That they're looking at, Keeping It Real. That's pretty neat.
So as I was saying, they ask us questions. They want to know if stuff's really true. And like I said, it's all about keeping it real. We want to let them know the truth, and there's too many of them basically for myself or Officer Marshall to go to school
Right.
at the end of the day every day and walk them home, make sure they make good decisions. So we try to give them the real information about stuff, and give them the ammunition and the information to hopefully make healthy decisions for themselves.
Do you, and talking about Safety Town and DARE, do you talk to other police departments in other counties, either states, and say, hey, this works for us, what works for you guys?
Myself and Officer Marshall both have attended not only the state of Ohio's DARE training conference, but we've also been fortunate enough to attend the international training conference twice, which we had contact with DARE officers from all over the country, not to mention all over the world.
Where was that? Where was that? Was that in Ohio? Or was that?
We were lucky 2 years out of 3 it was held in Cincinnati, which that's unheard of.
Wow.
So we were, it was actually attainable, it was actually within reasonable driving distance, we were able to attend it.
When you talk to other police forces and other officers, what comes up a lot? I mean, what do you talk? Gee, we've had this situation. How'd you handle that? I mean, is all the stuff that we've talked, bullying and things like that, or what seems to be the topics that, as officers, you guys are talking about?
Really, the big thing, I guess the hot topic is the bullying. I get a lot of. I just this past week taught the bullying lesson in my schools, and we get great interaction with the kids and a real good attention from the kids on all the lessons, but the bullying segment, it's just a little different. I mean, they're just keyed right in. You can tell it's a hot topic for them as well. I mean, there's no daydreaming there. I mean, they're really interested in it.
Do you ever get involved talking to parents?
On occasion, yes, it does happen. One place I get the opportunity to speak to quite a few parents is at the end of the school year. At the beginning of summer, we have our DARE pool party for we invite all of our DARE graduates of that school year. It's kind of a big.
Where's that at?
We have that at Tiki Pool.
Oh, okay.
Lancaster Parks allows us to have the pool for an evening for this event, and parents show up, and that's when I get the opportunity to talk to them. They kind of hammer me with some questions and stuff.
Is it uncomfortable talking to parents? I mean, would you rather talk to kids or to parents?
You know what? I enjoy talking to people, so it's not uncomfortable at all. Because we encourage the kids to, after DARE's over, take the book home, sit down with your parents, talk to your parents. It's no secret what we teach to them. I want you to talk to your parents about it, and then that's kind of a follow-up we do when the parents come talk to us. And a lot of times it's thanking us and things of that nature.
Do you now? You talked about speaking. Are you available to speak to other groups too? That's outside of.
Yes, at the community services unit, that's one of the things that we do. We'll talk at everything from a block watch meeting to you name it. We do educational type things.
Block watch. Let's talk a little bit about block watch. Talk a little bit about how those are formed and how those come about, because people have asked me, and I call Dave Bailey. That's all I can tell you.
Actually, I'm a liaison with a couple of the block watch groups, and Officer Marshall's a liaison for a couple others. And a popular misconception with the block watch is it's an organization run by the police department, and that's not true. It's actually an organization that the neighborhood puts together for themselves. We give them the information and help them along in the process, and help them with organizing it and getting everything set up that they need to do. But it's something they put together themselves. They run the meetings. We'll attend them from time to time. We pass information back and forth. But it's their organization, and they can run it how they see fit. And we got some really good ones here in town.
How many are in town? Just rough guess.
Off the top of my head, active ones. We have 3 or 4 that are very active.
What's it take to start one? I mean, you just talked about people getting together, but is it like this neighborhood does it, or that neighborhood, or they just ask for volunteers, or how do people?
Well, usually it starts with 1 or 2 people that are willing to take on a big task of putting together, and usually one of those becomes the block watch captain, and then they go around and get some more support and see how many people they can get to show up for the meetings, and it kind of grows from there.
Do you see in general, I mean, you're a 16-year veteran of the force, do you see the public more open to police officers? I mean,
absolutely, yes. Police department, I can speak for Lancaster Police Department. but its law enforcement in general are more, I don't know, community-oriented. It's the wave of the future, and it's how we like it.
Right.
We're more involved. It's not just, police departments just aren't about going out and making arrests and writing tickets. You know, we want to be community involved and be involved as much as we can.
Right.
And try to work with the community. And
do you ever share services with other? Do you ever go to like Baltimore, or do you ever go to?
We try to help each other out back and forth. We have good relationships with pretty much all the law enforcement agencies around this area, and whenever they need help with something or want us to help them out, we're more than happy, and they return the favor.
We talked earlier about wanting to become a police officer. Anything that has you thought, well, I don't know if I want to do this? I mean, is it anything maybe not something personal, but just thinking that I'm not sure I want to do this? I mean, is everything, can't be rosy every day. No, it can't be rosy every day.
Let's just say it's not like it is on TV.
Yeah.
There are moments of that, but those moments are rare.
Yeah, rare.
Yeah, it's a lot more work, paperwork, and it's not all exciting and glamorous as the TV makes it out to be, that's for sure.
We're talking with Chris Caton, the Community Services Officer, DARE Officer, him and Jim Marshall at the Lancaster Police Department. If you want some more information, you can call 687-6680, extension 518, and he will give you some more information about Safety Town, DARE, and for those of us that want to be a police officer, there's a civil service exam coming
Yes, sir.
up.
There was one just announced. Let me get the information out here. We are giving a civil service examination, or the civil service is giving an examination for the position of police officer, and it's going to be held at Olivedale Senior Center on Monday, March 34th at 6 p.m. There is a deadline to sign up to take the civil service test. I believe that is March the 24th at noon.
And when is the test again?
The test is Monday, March 31st at 6 p.m. at Olivedale Senior Center, but you have to pre-register, and I believe there's a $15 fee that the civil service charges to sign up to take the test, and that all has to be done. It has to be turned in before 12 noon on Monday the 24th.
Okay. If people have questions, call you, call the police station. What's
Well,
easiest, or what are they?
The best thing to do is get on our website,
Okay.
and there's a link to all the information about the test, and it gives there's actually quite a bit of detail. It even outlines what type of extra credit you can get on a test for, whether it be previous law enforcement experience,
Okay.
military, all the information you can possibly think of, pay scale, everything's on there.
One of the things that people they talk about is height requirements. We all know the camera adds 50 pounds, so weight requirements. Is that part of it, or is it?
I don't know what the exact figures are, but I think it's basically height in proportion with your weight, and I don't know what the actual chart is off the top of my head, but there are parts to that, yes.
Advice to maybe somebody that wants to become a police officer, maybe somebody that's 16, 17?
Stay out of trouble, and start thinking about, if you go to college or something like that, think about what you're going to major in. There's several majors out there that go hand in hand with police work, of course, criminal justice, police science, things of that, and pretty much all the local colleges close by here offer some sort of program like that. That's the best advice I can give.
What's Chris Caton doing in our off time when he's not being DARE officer? What do we?
Well, it depends on what time of year it is, but if it's in the fall of the year, I'm an avid hunter and archer. But in the summertime, just like spend time with family and things like that.
Do you like the outdoors then?
I love the outdoors.
Still inside all the time. We were talking earlier about your wife being in education. Do you bounce ideas off of her? Say, hey, because she teaches, is it 6th grade?
She teaches 6th grade. She taught 5th grade for quite a while too.
So you go home and say, hey, do you think this will work? Or
we've been known to bounce ideas off of each other, but I've gotten some pointers off of her, that's for sure.
We all have. Again, Chris, we appreciate you coming in. Some of the things, any other special events coming up for the police department? This summer events, anything that's going on that?
No, those are the only ones that I can think of off the top of my head anyhow. But we do, on our website, we do have a section for special announcements, and it's a calendar of things, events that are coming up. If you can check that periodically, and that's all I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, fantastic. We do appreciate you coming in. Again, we've been talking with Chris Caton, who is the DARE officer, along with Jim Marshall at the Lancaster Police Department. You can get a hold of Chris at 687-6680, extension 518. He does have a new extension. Talking about Safety Town coming up June 16th. DARE program that he does in the public or in school systems, and also a civil service test coming up. The test is Monday, March 31st.
Yes.
Have to register for that. Well, again, did you watch the Olympics? Did you get?
I didn't catch as much of it as I would like to, but I did catch some from time to time. It is addicting after a while, yeah.
Now, if I remember right, there used to be a big-time basketball game between the firefighters and the policemen. Does that still go on, or is that?
No, it doesn't. I wish it did. I was fortunate enough to play in those games, and it was a lot of fun. But for whatever reason, we don't do it anymore. I wish we'd get it going again.
Yeah, I'll say something to Brian Kuhn, the new Service Safety Director. He's a big basketball guy, and I know that when I was on City Council, I think Butch Strawn was the Service Safety Director at the time, and he kind of frowned on that. he said, "I don't need anybody else hurt," but that was always a big rivalry.
It's a big rivalry, but it's a friendly rivalry, and it's a lot of good, clean fun, and we had a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Well, Chris, again, we do appreciate you coming in today and talking to us, and good luck with Safety Town and the DARE program and all the other things that are going on, and appreciate everything you do. I really do. Everything. It's not easy being a police officer anywhere.
I appreciate you having me on here.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller, and remember, until we meet again, let's make a difference.
It's always wildfire season somewhere in America. Nearly 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by the carelessness of humans and could be prevented. But together, we can make a difference.
Watch what I can do!
Help protect the home of our forest friends.
Come on! You can do it!
Only you can prevent wildfires.
To find out more, log on to SmokeyBear.com.